So, hello and welcome to my next game. This time I'll show you the game between Stockfish 1.0 Ya versus Houdini 4 x64B. And I let them play this position here on the left. This is the Volga Gambit Saitzev system, or Benko Gambit Saitzev system. And Houdini, well, this position arises after those moves here, and Houdini chooses to take this pawn on b4. The other main move was, or is, queen to this square right here. But we have that move. So if knight takes, then we could have something like this, maybe. Not sure. Winning the bishop pair. And solidifying the center. Yeah, we have this. Knight takes pawn. And now Houdini calculates the move e6, followed by knight b5 back to c3, and e takes d5, knight takes d5. This is Houdini's line. Let's see what we get. What about just pushing the pawn one step further? Then this check, followed by knight here, picking up that pawn probably. So this, if pawn here, then queen here, followed up with knight there, and bishop takes here most probably. So, or bishop or knight takes, depends what white does. So I think this is not possible. So e6. Let's see, bishop f4. Yeah, but well, then queen here check, and you don't really want to exchange. Well, actually, you might want to exchange queens because, well, cannot take here, right? Because of e4, and then this c7 square is not defended, so you have to do something else. We have to move e6. Now Stockfish calculates the move d takes e6. Followed by queen a5 check, knight c3, and f takes e6. Yeah, this also looks plausible with d4 to come. Bishop goes here, knight goes there, bishop either goes here or there, and then castling with this semi-open f file, and white gets a lot for it. F takes e6 immediately is what Houdini thinks is a good move. F takes e6, but what about knight here check? Bishop takes, queen takes. Yeah, well, rook here evicts the queen from this square. But you can take here, right? Rook there. It doesn't seem right though. But you can give this check and then play the rook there. Maybe this works. Queen here, queen takes, pawn takes, and now castles. Now Houdini changes its mind to queen a4 check immediately, like Stockfish was thinking. Queen a5 followed up with knight c3, and only then f takes e6. Bishop c d2, queen b6, knight f3, knight c6, and e3. This is the line Houdini gives, or something like this at least. We have to move queen a5. Now knight c3 is forced. And then f takes e6. So let's see, what can you do here? e4 maybe as an alternative. No, e4 doesn't work quite yet because the knight is pinned, so let's unpin. Let's go with queen b6 and only then e4. Bishop here and bishop there. How is this position? Well, you could go for something like this, give up that pawn for that pawn, but I'm not sure how this, if this is any good. And white can also go back if he wants to. Not sure. Bishop here might be going after f2. So let's defend f2. So I see why e3 is better. Bishop d2, queen b6. Now knight f3 most probably. Also a good move. Knight c3 and e3. This is the line Houdini gave before. Yeah, what are white's plans? Probably something like rook there, bishop there, and castles. Black wants to play d4, put the bishop on this long diagonal, and play probably bishop here, and castle also kingside. But let's see. F takes e6 we have on the board. Now Stockfish calculates the move e3 immediately instead of bishop d2. Bishop e7, knight f3, knight e4, something like this maybe. Bishop e7, bishop d2, knight takes d2, queen takes d2, maybe. Queen takes d2, now probably castling. This is what Stockfish gives us line. Stockfish 1, not Stockfish 10 or something, but Stockfish 1. Let's see, still d5 is an option, followed by bishop here, and probably queen c7. Maybe some sacrifices here in the future will be possible. We have to move e3. Now Houdini thinks that e3, bishop e7, bishop d2 is the line, and we would transpose into something we saw before. Queen f3, knight b6, knight b3, queen b6, sorry, and then castles followed by bishop b5. Bishop b5. This is a move. Not sure. Okay, it prevents this bishop. No, well, this bishop can still move. d5 a4. d5 a4. This is Houdini's line. Followed up with knight c6. And castles. Yeah, very interesting position. Also very interesting, I wanted to say. What are here the plans? Maybe still go for something like bishop here, knight there, then an exchange sacrifice, maybe in the future. Probably not, because the queen is also eyeing this spot, but let's see. So we have moves here. We have the move bishop to e7, and let's see both evaluations. Houdini zeros and also Stockfish is on kind of equal. Stockfish thinks knight f3 is now a good move. Followed up with castles and bishop d3. d5 and also castles. Knight c6 and e4. e4, pawn takes e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, and black's pawn structure is shattered and the knight is under attack, so probably not taking. But what about pushing? The knight has to leave and then push this pawn also, but this weakens probably this square a little bit, but the bishop is eyeing this f5 square still. But okay, knight here to here might be an option. Yeah, I like black's position here. Although queen here check, followed up with knight there. Isn't that bad? Knight goes back to defend against this f2 threat, and then next move kick the knight back. But it's black's turn, so black cannot do this. Also not that. And probably something like f4. a6, knight goes back, and bishop here attacking the queen. Where does the queen go? That's the question. Probably here, eyeing this spot right there, and then you can still take here, at least consider it. Knight takes, bishop goes all the way, then you have this fork, so that's terrible. Bishop has to go there. Taking, I don't know, so probably not taking, because this knight wants to jump in there. Consider pushing. No, pushing you definitely don't want. You don't want to take. So knight here back. Push the bishop back. Bishop here. Or knight there with an attack on the queen. Queen moves here and then take away that bishop and attack this pawn afterwards. And if you do this, then you can could also take here actually. Takes followed by e4. This is an option, or you can play the c5 move. In between, the queen has to go back, and now you can either push again or move this piece. And yeah, black's position looks better, but let's see, what do we have here? We don't have bishop e2, knight f3. This is exactly the position, and we don't have castles. And knight e4, we have to move knight here. Knight c6. Now bishop e2 is calculated by Stockfish, followed up with castles and queen b6, preventing any bishop here or e4 ideas. e5, I mean. It looks interesting. We have to move bishop e2. Now Houdini thinks castles, followed by castles and d5, a4, bishop here, bishop d2, queen b6, and bishop to b5 still goes for this kind of setup for white. Okay, but this is also interesting. Changed its mind from castling to knight e4. Bishop d2, knight takes d2, queen takes d2, and now castles. Followed up with queen b6 and bishop b5. Still goes for this bishop b5 idea. Followed up with d6 this time, not d5, and rook a d1. Interesting. What about rook here? Going after the bishop, then probably a5, and there is nothing happening. We have bishop d2. We are now currently at that position, or actually in that position, but I'm sure white will take with the queen. And let's see both evaluations right around here. Both engines still are giving it as equal. Black has got the bishop pair, but white has an extra pawn for it. So it's interesting. Okay, I will smoke a cigarette and I will back in a minute. We'll be back in a minute. So I'm back, and we currently have castles on the board. Castles, and rook to the d8. And now rook f to d1. Followed up with d5 most probably. b3 is what Houdini gives. Queen b6. What? Followed up with rook ac1 and rook to a5. What is this rook a5 about? Probably d5 and some rook left. So let's see. What about a4? Let's say d5 takes, knight takes, pawn takes, knight here, blocking in the rook. Okay, if the knight goes somewhere else, yeah, then still. So probably even pawn takes before. Knight here. And e4. This could be an option. But why rook a5? That's the question. d5, bishop b5 is what Stockfish gives. Instead of b3, bishop b5 attacking the knight. Bishop b7. Bishop takes. Oh, queen c7 he gives. Followed up with a4. Knight b4. Very nice spot for the knight. Knight a2, knight takes a2, rook takes a2. And bishop a6 is the line. So again, queen here, a5, knight here, knight there, knight takes, rook takes, bishop here. Bishop takes, rook takes, and now I will go b3 is now not possible because the queen just takes it. What's white's move? So let's say you make some luft for the king. a3, h3. Probably queen there, b3, and rook here. I would do something like this. What's white's plan? That's the question. Okay, we have knight to b4. Probably knight here. Knight a2, knight takes a2, rook takes a2, and let's see both evaluations. Both engines still are zeroing it. First time control is reached. Knight to a6, knight to e5. Bishop d6. Let's say f4, f3, c3, and the knight wants to jump in here. This is also an option instead of taking it. And then this knight has a good spot here on d3. If the bishop takes a knight, then this knight has a nice spot here on d3. But okay, this knight can challenge it via the c1 square. But okay, the threat is also this one, forking rook and queen. So something like this could be played. We have knight a6. Rook a b1 is now what Stockfish calculates. Wants to go b4. So let's say this one, b4 takes en passant, rook takes, a knight here. But you have this discovery, but what does it do? It's the question. Just queen here, and now the bishop has to go away, and the knight can take the rook. So, or the knight can take the rook even immediately. So knight here. So let's say the rook goes back. Now knight here attacking the queen. We have rook b1. Now bishop b7 is the move. Houdini thinks is good. Houdini 4. Bishop b7 followed up with queen c2. Queen d6, b3. Because queen d6 is directed against b4. So that's why b3. Now bishop f6 going on this long diagonal. Followed up with rook c1. Going after this pawn. Now bishop takes knight is the threat. So let's say rook c8. Rook dc8. What? Rook dc8. Okay. What's the evaluations right around here? Stockfish thinks it's better for white. Houdini thinks it's equal. We have to move b3 instead of queen c1, c2. We have to move b3 immediately, but I think it will transpose. Well, I don't know. d4. Now, knight, pawn takes, knight takes, and bishop here can be played now. Because it's attacking the knight now. So d4 is a good move. d4, knight, e5. Is now being calculated. Now g6 all of a sudden. What is g6 doing? g6, bishop b5, e2, queen c7, rook bc1, bishop f6, queen c2, rook bc1, what, queen c2, queen d6 now. So Houdini is not sure what to do in that position. Seems as though that white should stand somewhat better. Yeah, a little bit, but not much. Queen d6 is now the move. Houdini played. Queen c2 now. From Stockfish maybe. Stockfish also gives g6 a try. Then rook bc1, rook df8, and queen c2 b2, queen d8, and bishop e2. This is what Stockfish gives. We have queen c2 on the board, queen d6 and queen c2, and now Houdini thinks bishop f6 is a move. Yeah, it is probably better than Stockfish's line. Queen, but now he changes his mind to rook f8. Houdini played the move rook f8. Houdini is down on 4 minutes. Stockfish has 7 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock. Now we have to move bishop to d3. h6, yeah, h6 seems better than bishop than g6. h6, rook bc1. Followed up with bishop f6. And okay, we have to move h6. Now rook bc1, most probably, and yeah, let's see. So, Stockfish's position looks harmonious, but so does White's position, Houdini's position, and we still have probably a slight edge to White here, but nothing serious. Now we have to move king h8 by Houdini. Now Stockfish gives queen b2 as a move, bishop f6 and queen b1. Why not queen b1 immediately? Is my questions, but okay. Let's see both evaluations again. We have to move bishop f6 and now queen b1 followed up with e5, threatening a fork. Yeah, well, bishop e4 using the fact that the pawn is pinned. Queen e6. Now the bishop has to leave the place. Bishop f5, attacking the queen. Let's see. Queen b1, queen b6 is now what Stockfish thinks. Now again, bishop e1, bishop e7. We have bishop b1 and now queen e7. Followed up with queen c2. This is kind of senseless play. And then e4, d4. e4. Oh. Queen c2. No. Queen e7. e4, d4. e4, d4. And then e5, bishop f. No, e5. At fd2. Then e5. Yeah, I like black's position here. But Houdini is also down on time. Huh. We have queen c2, so after queen e7 we have queen c2, so Stockfish is kind of without a plan. Rook fc8 we have now. Rook de1 by Stockfish most probably, followed up with e5 and bishop f5. Bishop f5 going after the rook. Rook b8. And now e4, probably e5. Then d4. And rook e d1 back. Yeah. So black has the center and the bishop pair, but white has got an extra pawn, so in the past a pawn. See both evaluations. Houdini is on slightly better for black with the move c4 now. So instead of e5, the move c4, b takes c4. And knight c5 going after the bishop. Or e5, e4, now it changes its mind, plays the move e5. Only 42 seconds left on the clock. And now either move bishop to f5 or e4. I would prefer bishop e4, f5. But we have the move e4 instead. Now the move c4. So a lot of tension here in the center. B takes c4 and d4. So giving up yet another pawn. And d4 comes instantly. And now let's see both evaluations. Protected pass pawn, but this means nothing. Another last time control has been reached. We have what move? Rook back to a1. Now rook cb. Now bishop here. Going after this pawn. Rook there. Changing places. And now knight c5. Now it's a very fast game. Knight here, bishop takes pawn, attacking the queen. Queen e2 most probably. With knight b4 d5, followed up with queen d6. So here. Queen f8. Followed up with knight d5. Yeah, this is a beautiful knight here on this d5 square. We have queen f7. Followed up with knight d5 most probably. And now rook c8, e8. So here, what's the plan? If rook c f8, and knight b6 going after the bishop, rook a6, and knight takes here most probably. Knight takes a4, rook takes a4, or queen d2. Okay, this, I don't know if you want to allow knight coming into this square, so I'm not sure if you want to do that. So we're currently in the board position. And we have rook a2. What? Bishop d1. What? Bishop d1. Oh, bishop d1. Rook takes and rook takes knight. So this was the tactic. Rook a5. Queen c7. Both engines are on equal yet again. Queen here. Bishop there. And rook a b5. Rook here, avoiding the exchange. Now queen b1. And queen e2 back. Now it's a real blitz game. Queen d6. Rook b5, b1. Rook f a8. And let's see both evaluations. Houdini seems to make progress here in this fast time control. Rook here. Rook a3. Rook b5 again. Queen here, bishop goes back. Bishop d6. Queen f1. Knight here. Rook there. And Houdini seems to have taken over. I think it's far too fast for this. To analyze it, so currently at that board position you see there. Let's see both evaluations. Doesn't seem as though that either engine can make progress here. Stockfish is just waiting. Knight a4 wins the exchange, right? Isn't this just winning now for black? No, because black gets 2 pawns for the exchange, 2 passes. Rook infiltrates. Now the next pawn falls. Threatening now discovery by the knight, so that's why king g8 is now on the board. Knight f4 most probably, queen takes, queen, so we have a queen exchange there. King takes, and how is this endgame? Knight here, bishop there. Rook takes, rook takes. Now how is this endgame? Is this winning for black or is this still even? I'm not sure if it's winning for black. Could very well be winning for black, but not sure. Houdini is also up on the time. So here you have the evaluations and the board and the time, so everything you need. Rook versus bishop and 1 pawn up. King f4, only move. g4, g5, checking the king. King moves up, king e7. h3, going after the e5 pawn again. Rook ec1, attacking the bishop. Here rook c1, c8. Slowly but surely increasing the pressure. Taking there, taking on f2. So 2 pawns versus the bishop. Rook versus bishop and 1 pawn. Stockfish is more pessimistic about his position. Houdini still thinks it's a draw. I think we already had this position. You know, it's probably lost for white. Not even sure if this is now lost for white. It's only one pawn. Yeah, no, it's lost. This pawn endgame is... oh. Doing it that way, losing yet another pawn. Now it's one pawn up for Houdini. Now it's winning. Just go on f4 and everything is fine. Okay, now Stockfish 1 resigned the game. Let's see. I actually have no real questions. So this was the game here. Okay, black played normal, but what surprised me was this maneuver here. Why not going to b1 immediately and then back to c2? So this is kind of maneuver from white I didn't understand, but okay. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.